Like, okay, I'm saying that I get a lot of men, but I don't really want to go through thousands of people. Like, it's
Oh, you got too
tiring.
much
So,
choice. It's like being at the candy shop and there's too much
too
candy
much
to
choice,
choose from.
but most of the choice is shit. It's like having
that must be
a
terrible
jar
for
of
you.
candy.
That must be terrible for you.
Most of it tastes like shit.
Jesus,
like,
that must
so
be awful. What about the person that's got no candy?
Don't
Wait, hang on a sec. No,
same
wait,
thing
wait,
to
wait. No,
men.
sorry. Wait, hang on a sec. Oh, come on. Listen,
Same
this
thing.
is just some lib shit nonsense. Do you not have any
So it's
empathy
like-
for people? What's going on here?
I mean,
I just think, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I think you're
easy
extremely
for women.
privileged. I think you've got an extremely privileged perspective on this. It's easier for women today in terms of finding someone today than it is for men.
They
100%.
have a much bigger pool, but that pool is full of absolute shitters. If you are a good person, okay,
This is
and you
like
have
delusional.
good things
This is
going for you.
delusional. This
What
is
are you
totally
doing? What do you
delusional.
mean?
Where when women express this, it's kind of accepted and considered. But when men express it, they do exactly what you're doing right now and go, "Men are pussies."
I don't want to go on like a FEMCEL rant of men are bad, but it's just like it's like which implies that the man is being manipulative by using friendship as a way to get in. I think that finding the right person for you is just as difficult for men as it is for women.
If you're going to be a mod for like some sort of ego, you have got a terrible fate in store for you. I've got to tell you, okay? You've got a terrible fate in store for you. I think there should be a rule where only women are allowed to be mods for e-girls, because if you're a dude and you're a mod for an e-girl, it's not going to end out looking good for you. Going to keep it real with you, okay? Who's seen this before? Who's seen this before? Little story about this meme. Little story about this meme, okay? I posted this once to like, you know, back before I was like I am now, years ago, to like a little Facebook group. And I was like, yeah, this kind of sucks for the guy. And all the fucking lib shits, the lib shit fucking fem lib idiots were like, no, 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 sorry, this is fine, this is fine. And it's like, nah, this ain't cricket, this ain't cool. And this is an example of how sometimes women will lead men on to get what they need. Okay? So, I don't know whether this is true or not. I don't know whether this was ever confirmed. But, even if it's not confirmed, there's absolutely things like this that happen. Okay? 100%. If you're going to tell me that this hasn't happened, you are kidding yourself. Okay? Mod. So I'm on livestream fail and there's news you have a husband. This can't be true, right? E-girl streamer. We'll say e-girl streamer so it's not specific to any person, okay? I do have a husband, but obviously I'm not going to mention him because then people get turned off by that idea. Do you know what I mean? Mod. No, I don't understand it. Why do you hide having a husband? E-girl streamer. Why is it any of your business anyway? Am I not allowed to keep that aspect of my life private? This is obviously fake. Okay, are you telling me this kind of circumstance hasn't happened before? Even if it's not Amaranth, okay? Maybe if it's not... Are you telling me this isn't a circumstance that would have happened? It is totally plausible. The idea of like, oh, come on, this is fake. This absolutely, even if this isn't, he misspoke, even if this isn't exactly true, okay, this is absolutely a circumstance that will have occurred. You're kidding yourself if you think not. Who cares? Listen, this is an example of when women use men to get what they want. This is incel fuel, okay? And denying that it exists is further incel fuel, okay? Cancel me all you want, it doesn't matter. This is true. There's a truth to this. This is SQUADW. This is SQUADW, folks, okay? We're going in hard on this. What do you mean by get what they want? I mean, get what they want. What else could I mean by that? If you're going to start soying out, maybe my stream isn't the place for you, okay? Because I tell you what, if all you've got is soy, all I've got for you is disdain. Fuck you, okay? I've been supporting you for 2 years now. I'm always moderating your chat, making sure dumbasses don't say shit about you. Do you know how much I support you? I always donate to you. I've given you thousands of dollars at this point. And I'm still thankful for that? Question mark. And 2 months ago, do you remember what you said to me? I just got off work. And just to be clear, like this might not be real, okay? This might not be real. This might not be real. But the flavor of what's going on could be, okay? And it's important to note this. This is what happens if you become a mod for an e-girl without knowing what you get yourself into, all right? I just got off work and I sent you a picture of my bored but tired face on Snapchat. And I said you look cute. Obviously, you know how much I like you. I was going to fly out to TwitchCon this year. I was hoping we'd maybe get a few drinks afterwards, just you and me, see where the night takes us. And now this comes out, I feel like such a moron. Don't say that. Listen, wait for my conclusion. Wait for my conclusion, okay? Wait for my conclusion. Don't say that. Listen, of course, this is not Amaranth. This is a random e-girl, okay? Don't say that. Listen, of course, you're cute. I'm so thankful to call you my friend, and you're such a big supporter of me. But I do have a husband, and that's just how it is. I'm sorry if you had other intentions in mind, but I'm taken. I don't need you. There's a whole sea of other streamers. Anyway, you know, you get the idea. So, listen, is this real? Is this real? I don't know. I've never had it confirmed that this is real, okay? However, I do think that this kind of thing has absolutely happened. Not necessarily with Amaranth, but definitely with you know, definitely with e-girls and stuff, okay? And here's the issue. The issue is there are two sides to every story, okay? Now, is in that case the guy letting himself get led on? Yes, of course. Of course, in circumstances like that, there's two sides to every story. And the guy is absolutely kind of engaging in a way that's allowing himself to get led on like that, okay? But that's why it's so important that both sides are honest about what's going on, so it doesn't create a circumstance where someone is getting led on. And that can go both ways. Okay? And the reality of it is, society is not very sensitive to situations when it's guys getting led on. Okay? It's not. It just isn't. It just isn't. Okay? When a woman gets led on and it's a fuckboy messing around and leading them on and making them cry and all this stuff, right? Endless sympathy is garnered for that circumstance and that situation, okay? But when the shoe is on the other foot and it's the dude that's getting led on, right? And it's the woman that's doing the leading on and is doing the, on reflection, the bad shit. The dude is still in the wrong somehow. They're being creepy. They've done something wrong. They've done something bad. And people start to disregard the things that the woman has done to instigate that or keep that going. Are there things the guy should have done differently? Yeah, of course there are. Okay? Absolutely. Absolutely, of course there are things that the guy could have done differently. Don't be such a pathetic simp, okay? Like, have some self-respect, you know? Work on yourself. Go out with your friends, etc. Whatever it is, right? Like, you can list off a whole bunch of things. But if a woman is engaging in behavior and is obfuscating the true nature of that relationship purposefully in order to benefit from that relationship, that is wrong. And she shouldn't do it. I'm correct. And if you're upset by that, like, you need to accept reality, okay? You need to accept reality. And it's important. And it's important that both sides are honest with each other in any circumstance so that everyone knows what's going on and they can make a decision accordingly, okay? And I don't think that's particularly unreasonable. So, you know, for example, but with an ego, I mean, yeah. Why just because someone's an ego? Like, obviously, there's going to be a degree of playing on parasociality in order to garner support, and that's fine, and that's okay, right? And that's okay. Listen, that story may not be true. I'm using it as an example to talk about this because obviously it's relevant to this other guy, okay? But just be honest. All I'm saying is be honest about the true nature of what you're feeling so everyone knows what's going on and everyone knows where they stand. Don't pretend or act or, engage in such a way as to give a false impression, okay, that leads another person on. Right? We say that to men and everyone's chill with it. You say it to women, everyone fucking starts losing their mind. No, this is equal. It doesn't apply regardless of whatever gender, okay? Just be honest about what you feel and what's going on. In DMs, be honest and upfront and open, and that's it. Does anyone think that's unreasonable? Does anyone disagree with me? And to the guys out there, I know it's tough. Listen, fellas, I know it's hard. I have been in situations when I've been interested in someone and it's not been reciprocated. And you kid yourself and you fool yourself and you think and you believe that you've got a chance. And it's hard to figure out sometimes, okay? Sometimes you ain't got a chance. It ain't going to happen. You ain't going to convince them. And I implore you, the best thing that you can do in that situation is to engage in that level of self-respect, okay? Engage in your own life. Engage in your own situation. Get yourself out there. Hang out with friends. Have a haircut, whatever. Make yourself feel good. And get yourself in order, okay? That's the key. And if you go to get yourself in order, and you struggle to do that for a certain reason, ask for help. Reach out to someone for help. Because there might be something that's stopping you. Sometimes that might be something you need additional assistance with. Could be a mental health issue even. Could be anything. But if you're finding it difficult to do that, and you're struggling to move past it, reach out for help to someone. But have some self-respect, okay? And don't throw yourself at the feet of people. Look after yourself. I know it's tough to hear, but I promise you, she isn't worth it. I promise you. I know. I look back now on the women that I've not, managed to move further with, and it ain't worth it. And I've met women that are 10 times those women, and I've had great times with them. Yeah, and it does get better. I know it's hard when you're in the hole there, but it does get better. Have some self-respect, look after yourself, and everything will follow, okay? And if anyone disagrees, you're welcome to come and talk to me about it, okay? And if you think that makes me like an incel, you are literally brain dead. I don't know how else to put it to you. Your attitude is what creates incels, not me. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, hi. Okay, yeah, so I was saying what you're...
Oh, sorry, you're super quiet.
Okay, so that...
Yes, that's a bit better.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I felt like you were a bit out of touch, man. It seems like you've been online, or like you're spending too much time online. Like you don't realize how women act in real life.
I've got 3 kids.
I did kind of I knew that about you. Yeah, I did know you.
Right.
But
how do you think I got that? How do you think those kids happened?
Okay, it doesn't. You can still be out of touch and like have a family though. I don't
right.
think that's
okay. Sure. Okay, but I'm just highlighting to you that I'm not just like some online incel nerd. Okay.
I've had like no, absolutely no. I do not. Okay. Also, yeah, you're one of my favorite political streamers. I've been watching you, and I won't say the other person I also watch, but okay, it's fine. It's infrared. Fine. I'm an infrared fan, but I got banned from Discord. So...
Oh damn. Okay, it's all starting to make sense now. Anyway, go on. How am I out of touch? Go on.
Because okay, like I've had, I mean, I work in IT. I've had female managers who are basically not what you described as like the typical woman. They're not. They're both not lesbians and not they're not. I guess like politically active, if that makes sense. They don't
Okay.
care.
Just to be clear, most of the women I've ever interacted with in my life are the same. They've not been online. I've interacted with women I've been friends with. I mean, I don't know what you're trying to point out here, but go on.
But then, because your whole tirade, I mean, was about saying like women were not like this, which in my experience it's just not true. It's just really not true.
Wait. So, do you disagree with the idea that some women obfuscate the true nature of their relationship with a man in order to get something out of it?
No, I think some do, yes, but
Okay.
I don't.
Well, that was my point.
Rare. I think it's actually kind of rare.
It's not rare. That's complete nonsense.
What we're talking about here is like Jersey Shore level relationships. Like it is like it's pop culture shit. It's not what's happening in like the real day-to-day lives of people.
No,
Like,
it is absolutely something that happens in day-to-day life for people. This is a very common experience for men that are dating.
Like okay, where did you? Okay, I don't want to talk about your personal life. I mean, but where do you think people meet their significant other? Like, it's not all on Tinder. Like, it's usually personal relationships that develop over time. Like, you meet them in school or whatever, and then you hook up with them later, or whatever. Like most of my friends, that's how they met the person they married. It's like someone they met in school, and then later on, whatever happens. I don't think. I mean, yeah. So sometimes they get screwed over, sometimes, but it's like not that common. Like I think that what you were saying, like what you're bemoaning here, it's just not that common.
Okay.
In my experience, it actually.
But I mean, I think it is common, and I think it is something that a lot of men relate to when I talk about it because they have themselves experienced it and they're frustrated by it. And my advice to them, I think, is very valid. It's like you don't throw yourself at people's feet. You know, you don't be obnoxious, don't be rude to women. Like that's where the red pill falls apart. Is the idea is how you solve it is just be a dickhead to women. Sorry, no, I'm actually making a point. So if you let me finish, you know, you need to look after yourself first and foremost, and build yourself up to a point where you are ready to engage in those types of relationships, and you're not going to get super invested into like one person to a level where it like hinders you, and it can potentially make it so you're blind to some of these dynamics that can happen in a relationship.
Okay, I have to say that pic. It's literally fake. Like, it is actually fake.
What's fake?
Like, okay, the amaranth pic. The thing.
Yeah, sure. I recognize that might not be true, but I'm just using it to highlight that this is something that is feasible and something that men relate to.
I don't. But I think it's wrong to use this as a way to look at all relationships.
Wait, hang on a sec. When did I say this is all relationships?
Isn't that what we're talking about?
Well, I don't think at any point I've said this is indicative of all relationships. I've just said that sometimes, and I even said that men can do it too, but I said that sometimes women will obfuscate the true nature of how they feel about a relationship in order to get something that they want out of it.
That's kind of always true, man. We always kind of want something.
Wait, hang on a second. You said a moment ago it's not very common, and now you're saying it's always kind of true. Which is it?
There's always something. There's always something that you don't tell your partner. Like, if you're if you're brutally honest, that's how relationships can't work on that. If you're saying like, hey, we're gonna date for like 6 months, I'm probably gonna get bored of you, like, and then yeah, that's it. Like, you can't be brutally honest. You gotta go with it.
Wait, I'm not. But wait. But well, people might not know that. Okay, but obviously, if you get to a point in a relationship where you don't want to be with them anymore, the right thing to do is to tell them that you don't want to be with them, rather than string them along because you're getting some benefit out of it.
Exactly. Yeah, I completely agree.
Well, what do we disagree on then?
The saying that an amaranth stalker that made a fake video is like indicative of all relationships. I think that's not true.
When did I say that it's indicative of all relationships? Have you got a timestamp for that?
Did I say it? Oh, okay. I don't know. I guess you didn't.
You don't know very much from the sounds of it about what I said.
I mean, basically,
I think you've created a conception of what I said, and you've come to me with a conception, but it's not what I actually said. So I'm going to be blunt. You look kind of stupid right now.
That's fine. That's fun.
Next time we have a conversation, my advice to you is to listen and come with the things that were actually said. All right?
All Alright, sounds good. I guess I got boring.
Okay.
I did it. Do you want to talk about that?
Talk about what?
I dated a streamer. I mean, she
Yeah,
had, like,
sure. Go on. Tell me about that. What happened?
But okay, so this is a long time ago. She was like a Hearthstone streamer. So yeah, a very long time ago. And he was kind of crazy. Well, oh my god. Okay, I gotta mute my fucking Discord. Fuck. Wait. How do I relate this? Holy shit! I did not think this through. Fuck. I don't know how to relate to the conversation actually.
That's okay.
Yeah, maybe I don't have anything.
No worries. Well, thanks for coming on nonetheless, okay?
All right, man. Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
I'm going to bring... Listen, I'm going to bring Kino and then Kelly Jean in, because Kelly Jean wanted to speak as well. Hey, Kino, how's it going?
Hello. I have completely forgotten the microphone mannerisms, so let me know if something is terrible. How are you?
Yes, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I am doing well. You did mention that if people agree with you, then we should fuck off.
Not you. That doesn't count towards you.
No worries. So really what I wanted to add, this conversation annoys me because we work from red herrings and personal experience rather than really any meaningful foundation. And when we're talking about creator versus the viewer relationships, I think that we're missing a lot of context, especially in regards to marketing. Now, marketing is such a powerful tool that we don't analyze when it comes to these. So I kind of wanted to initially contextualize the problem with the conversion funnel of all things. But I also recognize that Kelly is in here. So if we wanted to have more of a organic conversation, that's good too.
I just brought Kelly in because I know Kelly. I think Kelly had some disagreements, which is fine. It'll be interesting to hash it out.
I do have a few disagreements.
Excellent. That's good. That's good. I'm sure we can have a friendly conversation about it, though.
I do. Well, I don't know if it was you specifically because I missed a part of what you were saying, Chud, but definitely in response to the guy that you were talking to. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. What was that?
Okay, so there's been a lot of discussion about women using men as friends. Can we not see the issue with that as a statement?
I mean, I think that is something that happened. Well, I think that's a very reductive way of looking at it. I think that basically, I think that there's an obfuscation that sometimes occurs with relationships where one side will obfuscate their true feelings in order to get what they want out of the relationship. I think to just say women using men for friends is, and if I said that, it's probably somewhat reductive, but I think more broadly it's about a criticism of obfuscating your true feelings about a relationship to get what you want out of it without giving the other person what they're led to believe they can get out of it.
I mean, the sad thing from that is that men don't seem to believe that friendship is a valuable resource, which is very strange to me. Because if I'm friends with someone, they're getting as much out of it as I am. Unless the only reason that they wanted to be friends, and put friends in quotation, because clearly they didn't really want to be friends, is because they wanted to get close to this woman so that they could date them, but they were too much of a pussy to just say so. Which is an entirely different, situation that I find really strange. So I don't know, if someone is
that's a five-head take to just say, oh, just tell me you want to date me. That can be very difficult to do and daunting in some circumstances.
So we have all these conversations about how women need to be more upfront about things and put in their boundaries and stuff.
Wait, hang on a sec. No, wait. No, sorry. Wait, hang on a sec. Oh, come on. Listen, this is just some fucking lib shit nonsense. I said everyone.
How is this lib shit?
Because you're doing the lib feminism take. I think everyone should. I said everyone needs to be more honest. I also said men sometimes do this too. At no point have I said it's only women that do this. But I'm highlighting that there's an issue where when women express this, it's kind of accepted and considered. But when men express it, they do exactly what you're doing right now and go, men are pussies.
Well, I mean, if you can't speak up in a situation that is just about friendship, there's no external pressure there, you're just friends. If you can't do that,
external
you're never
pressure,
going to be able to date anybody.
The external
period,
pressure
are you? If you don't say I want to date people, how are you going to date anyone?
But the external pressure is the embarrassment that comes from expressing your feelings and being, knocked back, right?
Is that it? So people can't deal with being embarrassed?
Do you not have any empathy for people? What's going on here?
I mean, admittedly, I probably have a little bit less in certain scenarios than the average person. But I do think that dealing with rejection is just a big part of life, and it's not just about friendships and relationships. And rejection doesn't have to be an embarrassment.
But it is.
It can be
it feels horrible.
Process.
You can say it doesn't have to be an embarrassment, but that doesn't change how someone feels about it.
I've been rejected by men and women.
Okay, but
I
listen,
move on very quickly from it.
Yes, but it's much easier for women to move on with the dating market the way it is. It's much harder for men to do that.
What? Why is it harder? Do you think it's easier for women to find the right person?
It's easier for women to date in terms of finding someone to date than it is for men.
They
100%.
have a much bigger pool, but that pool is full of absolute shitters. Like,
okay,
I could
that
show
may
you
be
the
the case.
kind of men
I know they're dickheads.
Most of them barely can speak English. It's not even about them being dickheads. Like,
wait, they can barely speak. Hang on a sec. They can barely speak English. What's wrong? What's wrong with that? If they can't speak English, that's like low key a bit weird.
I'm not focusing on the English part. I'm talking on the fact that they can barely communicate with me, which is usually something that everyone wants in a relationship.
Okay, but you understand if someone's from a different country and they can't speak English, that isn't like
No, it's not about being from another country. I don't know where people are from, but if they type in broken English,
right,
it might not necessarily be because they aren't English. It could be just because they're fucking stupid and have like very basic English comprehension skills.
Okay.
Either way.
But here's the reality, right? So I agree with you that there's men out there that are dickheads. Okay, let's focus on that. Okay, so there's men out there that are dickheads, right? So you have got a pool of say 10 guys. And
actually,
most of them are
I don't think that most guys that have gone into this thought process are dickheads.
But you just made out that they were. You just said you got all these messages from all these horrible people. Okay, what do you mean then?
No, they weren't horrible. The people that are messaging me. So like, okay, I don't think that highly of myself, but I do want someone who is on a similar level to me in a variety of ways. So yes, the pool of dating that I have available to me is larger, but the majority of them are people I would just never date, which is fair to say. And that is the case for a lot of women. You're getting hundreds of messages, but they're not from people you would ever date. So it doesn't necessarily mean that women have more options unless you think that all of the options they get are reasonable, which is not the case in the majority of cases. So, I mean, I'm not saying it's not harder for men in certain ways, but I think you overestimate how easy it is for women to find the right person. I think that finding the right person for you is just as difficult for men as it is for women.
Well, no, it's going to be harder because men that in like online dating apps, for example, the studies show that there's a lot more men on there, and women are a lot more choosy because of that reason, and so they.
Do you want me to give you a counterpoint to that as well?
Yeah, by all means, do go on.
All right, so the majority of women that are moderately attractive, 7s, 8s, whatever, they will still get matched with men that are 9s and 10s, but these guys have absolutely no intention of ever dating those women because they know that they can do better. So they've already done studies on this which show the percentage of these women matching with the percentage of these men, and then there's the other men that are lower that aren't dating with anyone really. So the end result of dating apps is they're not really that great for anyone unless you're a 10 out of 10 woman and a 10 out of 10 man. Then maybe you'll have better luck. I don't know. But the reality is they don't work that well.
So your problem is you're not getting hot enough men? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that I get a lot of men, but I don't really want to go through thousands of people. Like it's tiring.
You got too much choice. It's like being at the candy shop and there's too much
candy
to choose from.
But most of the choice is shit. It's like having
that must be terrible for you.
Candy.
That must be terrible for you.
Most of it tastes like shit.
Jesus, that must be awful. What about the person that's got no candy?
I mean, what's better, like going through a jar of 1,000 pieces of candy to find the one that doesn't look like shit, or going out and not using dating apps to find someone who's not shit?
Well, no.
Dating apps.
I just think. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I think you're extremely privileged. I think you've got an extremely privileged perspective on this. And you don't have enough empathy.
Woman that I'm privileged.
Yes, I am going to tell you that because you are.
Okay, I am a woman that also dates women as well, so it gives me a different perspective on it because I have been on the side of the men. So I've been a woman looking for other women, And the way that I'm aware of the way that women interact on these apps as well, because there you go. I'm aware they don't usually message first. I'm aware
Right. The dating dynamics between same-sex relationships is very different, okay? If I wanted to get my dick sucked, I could go on Grindr and find a guy to do it in 5 minutes, okay? So I don't know the exact nature of what it's like for lesbian dating, but it's very different to how it is for men and women dating.
I mean, it's not the same as for gay men, so that's why I'm talking about it.
Sure, but you know, I'm pointing out that the dynamics of that aren't, I don't think, particularly relevant, because the dating dynamics of me on Grindr are totally irrelevant to the differences that you get.
Well, that's because of the difference between men and women, and not between sex-based relationships. Because women, whether they're lesbian or straight or pan, whatever, they're not as focused on the sexual aspect regardless. Well, I mean, there will be some horny women out there, but it's going to be a much smaller minority regardless of sexual orientation. So,
okay, but the point I'm making is that the dynamics of men and women dating are very unique in comparison, obviously, to same-sex dating. So, you know, I can't speak to what it's like to date as a lesbian because I don't know for sure. But I can speak of what it's like, you know, to date on a dating app as a man. And I just feel like you've got this insane sense of dating privilege from being a woman, and you're not being empathetic to what it's like to be a man on a dating app. And you're calling men pussies for not wanting to get rejected. That's crazy.
I never said that. I said if they can't say that they want to date someone, that is a big problem. I would call someone who's a pussy if they can't even say that they want to date. Like, that's like, how are you going to date someone if you don't tell anyone that you want to date? Like, I what?
Well, no, it's not about not telling someone. It's not that you can't tell anyone that you want to date. It's that there can be a dynamic that's set up where, because of like a sense of obfuscation, sometimes on the part of the woman, sometimes on the part of the man, you can reach a situation where you're not really sure where you stand, and taking that leap to say, "Hey, I'm actually interested in you." You know, it can result in embarrassing circumstances. And now there's even a culture where if you're a fella and you say to a woman, "Hey, I'm interested in you," and you get like hardcore friend zoned, like that can be screenshotted and put up. There's even like accounts online that are dedicated to sharing these embarrassing moments when men try and
I have another issue with this, because friend zoning, again, it's just like falling into this like horrible stereotype of like being friends with women bad. Like, what I can only suggest to any guys that are listening to this, aren't just flaming me in the chat for whatever reason, is be friends with women just because you want to be friends with women. And there is a really good reason for this, because the likelihood is maybe you won't date that woman, but she'll think you're such a great person that she will recommend you to her friends. If you are a good person, okay,
this is
and you have
delusional.
good things
This is delusional. This is totally delusional.
What do you mean? Are you saying if you're not a good friend to someone, they won't talk good about you to their friends who will be single? If you make friends with women and they think you are a good person for X, Y, and Z, and you're not just like being, like simpy or weird or whatever, they are most likely going to talk well about you to their friends. If I don't know how you wouldn't know this.
So as long as they behave how you want them to, you might recommend them to a friend if they're lucky.
No, I'm saying be a good friend. No, be genuinely a good person. Be a good friend. If you like that person and you do get the guts to say, "Hey, I like you," and they reject you, but just make it clear, like, I'd still like to be friends because I actually genuinely like you as a person. Don't go around befriending people that you wouldn't actually want to be friends with.
Okay, but I think the thing is that like you're disregarding the true dynamics of what happened in those kind of situations. Like, obviously, if you're just like friends with a woman and it is genuinely a friendship both ways, there's no obfuscation and there's not an interest there, then yeah, that might be the case that you recommend to friends to date and stuff like that. But I find it very hard to believe that if you're interested in someone and you're friends and you try and take it further and they reject you, they're going to go, "Well, it's all right. I've got some friends you can date and I'll tell them how great you are." I just cannot imagine that happening.
I mean, I've known it to happen.
Right, okay.
As long as you are good at not making the situation weird. If you throw a fit because this girl isn't interested in you, if you ghost her and you start being a shitty friend to her, or start being an incel, then yeah, of course she's not gonna even want to be friends with you, and she's not gonna say good things about you. But like, otherwise, she will probably not have an emotional reason for rejecting you. There just wasn't a vibe there for her. But that doesn't mean that she wouldn't speak well of you to her friends.
Okay, I mean, obviously there isn't like any data or studies we can really look at for this, but I would just, I'd point to
I mean, this is just based on being a woman that socializes with other women. Like,
sure, but like, I think that there's a culture now where that kind of interaction, where you try and make that leap to like a dating situation from a friendship, that's more likely to be mocked than to be treated with a kindness and oh look, I'm not really interested, but maybe some of my friends are. I
mean, it wouldn't work like that right away, right? So if the woman rejects you, she's not going to be like, oh no, but here's like 10 of my friends. What will happen is you continue being friends because you genuinely like each other, and then over time she might just introduce you to people at a social gathering and you meet people based on that, and because she genuinely likes you, she speaks well of you. Like, this is like, if you want to date women, you need to have a good standing with women and friends that are women.
Okay, but the problem we've got there is, I don't disagree with the concept that if you're friends with women, they may introduce you to other people and you may be like end up being friends with them, but that's not really what I'm talking about.
I am giving this advice because, as everyone knows, dating apps aren't great, so that's why I'm giving this advice.
Sure, but then I think there's a couple of things that are missing from this. So there's like, for example, there's some men out there who are kind of socially awkward, or they don't speak English very well, or there's other issues, particularly with race. That can be a problem for dating both ways. But some of these issues can come to the fore, particularly like social awkwardness, and it can make it difficult for some men to form friendships. So they're not going to be in this situation.
I mean, you can use this to online as well as offline if you have hobbies that other women are. I mean, lots of my friends have just found their girlfriends from playing video games and stuff. They've made like friend groups from Discord and they've become friends with women, and then they've met other women through those friendship groups. So yeah, that's going to be a little bit tougher if you're super socially awkward, but I mean, if you're online, that's a pretty big buffer to the social awkwardness. But to a point, you are going to have to like work on yourself to try and get to at least an average level of socialization if you want to date anyone, and that's not really on women to like.
Well, that's what I said specifically. If you're a dude and you're having problems, try and work on yourself, and if you're struggling with that, maybe reach out for help, find out why. I'm not saying be a dickhead to women. Like, that's not my prescription in any of this. Do you see what I mean?
No,
but
I don't think you did think that either.
Sure.
I just have this issue with friendship being seen as a negative and friend zoning still being parroted as a thing.
Well, but friendship in itself isn't a negative. It's the obfuscation.
No, of course, it's a very good thing. Friendship is great. Like,
it's the obfuscation of your true feelings on a matter, in order to
which implies that the man is being manipulative by using friendship as a way to get in.
Well, that can work both ways, though. Women can also be manipulative too in that circumstance, in order to get something out of the man by dangling something which isn't really available.
Okay, so we're talking about women that are pretending to want friendship? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, this is absolutely something that does occur. Where women will they'll suggest or imply that there's maybe a chance of something further, or they won't make it clear that they're not interested in them in a certain way. And whilst I admit there can certainly be fault if the man is not engaging in a way to clarify that or something like that, but I think that sometimes women will play on that in order to get more out of the relationship, and this is something that happens. I mean, we talk about this with like fuckboys do this, and we're always quite comfortable calling that out, and I think that's a problem. But it seems that when it's women that are on the other end of it and are doing that sort of thing, and you call it out, everyone like retracts in horror, like you're being a misogynist or something like that, when to me you're just pointing out something that's true.
I mean, it's not that, it's just that it is different because you're specific. So fuckboys have this reputation because they lie in order to get sex, which is a little bit different.
And women sometimes lie in order to retain friendships.
That's not lying, is it? It's at most admitting the truth if they are aware of it, and sometimes they aren't. Like, and not in every situation are they aware.
But women absolutely are dishonest as well. The idea they're just admitting the truth. You could say
No,
the same
there
thing
are
about
manipulative women, but also
Yes.
if you're using friendship to gain, you're also being manipulative too. So you're getting played by another manipulative person because of the way that you are approaching things.
Sure, but like in many ways, sometimes the women will have the social power in that situation. Like it's not as simple as men on top, women on bottom. There are circumstances where women can have a level of social power that they can play on in those circumstances.
I mean, if you feel that you are in a situation like that, the only advice that I could give to people is simply to leave it. It doesn't matter if they do or don't like you. If someone's putting you in a situation where you feel like you can't ask their intent and you don't know what their intent is, it's best to leave the situation.
I mean, the thing is like as a final resort, maybe, but I think everyone could just do, and this is what I'm saying, everyone could just do with being a little bit more honest about what's going on. You know, putting your own needs aside for a second and just being more honest with the person you're engaging with.
So you think that women need to ask men more what their intentions are?
I think that to be honest, it can often be quite clear what's going on, right? Like, I think when you engage with someone, you can get an insight or an idea into what they're all about. You can tell normally if they're just interested in a friendship, but, you know, there'll be signs and hints that maybe they do want something more. And
I mean, I've got it wrong on multiple occasions. I thought the guys being nice to me meant that they liked me, and I was wrong. And in other situations, I didn't realize that other people like me too. Because it's not a very clear situation, people are going to get that wrong a lot, even if they don't have manipulative or malevolent intent. And there are people with malevolent intent, because there are narcissists and sociopathic type people on the planet, but not everyone has bad intent. And I don't think we should be putting that much blame on women for not being mind readers, because just as many
I'm not saying that women are at fault for not being mind readers. I'm saying
just as many socially awkward women as men, you know. Like.
Sure, obviously that mistakes are made, and I get that, and I agree that mistakes are made, okay? But I think, you know, we all have been in that situation where someone is interested in you, okay? And it's pretty obvious that they're interested in you. And maybe you haven't been as honest as you could be with them. And that's the kind of behavior that I'm calling out. And it's important that you are honest. But on the other side, yes, of course, if you aren't getting somewhere, work on yourself. But I just think we ought to be able to call out a dishonesty that occurs there, whether it's a man or a woman doing it. But it seems like we're very quick to call out the men. When it comes to calling out the women, that's suddenly a bad problem and an issue.
So also to add, there can be situations where the woman is aware that the guy maybe has a little bit of a crush on them, but they don't know what to do because they don't want to hurt his feelings. This is very common, okay? I'm not saying it's right that the women doesn't just straight out say, hey, I don't like you, because I am the kind of person that would just say, I don't like you, I'm not interested. But I'm aware not every woman is as blunt and lacking as empathy as apparently I am.
Okay, listen, Kelly, I'm sorry, listen, we've had a bit of a fractious backwards and forwards. So there's one of my friends that is desperate to come in because they've been saying, bring me in, bring me in, bring me in.
I mean, they can stay.
Okay.
I can stay. We can all chat.
That's fine. I don't want to just bring loads of people in because it will end up getting crazy. I'm just going to bring one person in, and I'm going to take a step back and let them talk to you directly, okay?
Oh, okay. Fair.
Right.
Hello.
Hello, Dario.
Hi there.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. So I was just drinking tea.
Okay. Have you been reading the chat?
Not a lot. They're just spamming Cage Match and Dario. I don't know who you are.
Okay.
So I don't know what that means.
I have a quick question.
Okay, go for it.
So do you often talk about these things like on streams and stuff?
No.
Okay.
Why?
Have you talked to a lot of your male friends about this?
Yes.
Even unattractive ones?
Yes. Why?
What's the reactions you get?
It's very mixed. But usually if they listen to me, they have more success.
Okay. So I'm just curious. So if you're reading chats like throughout this conversation, maybe you go back.
You want me to read it now? I haven't read most of it.
Well, not necessarily now, but like if you were to go back, or like if you were following at all, you would see that a lot of people seem to think that you're completely wrong on a lot of these things.
Yeah, even Chud's chat, and he's talking to me and disagreeing with me. Of course, they're going to be like,
"Sure,
I agree with Chud." Like, what does that mean? Like, shut the fuck up.
Okay. So even Chud disagrees with you. Like Chud is a man, right? So if you're talking about these things that men experience, and you see a lot of people in chat, and Chud himself, and me, and like all these men saying, listen, this is not our experience. This isn't what it's like being a man. Don't you think there might be like an issue with your perception that maybe you missed
the reason
something?
I came here is because I disagree. That was the point. Chud wanted people to disagree with him.
Sure. But what you're disagreeing with is the experience of the average man in the dating scene, right? As a attractive woman, right? You are disagreeing with the average man's experience in the dating scene.
I'm not disagreeing with their experience. Your experience is your experience. I'm saying like how I would approach it if you want a better outcome.
Well, sure. We can say that about a lot of things, right? We can say, hey, listen, if you want to become a millionaire, you should invest all of your money early in some kind of amazing stock and make money, right? But this isn't
I
how
think it's a bit more reasonable to be able to get a partner than it is to be a millionaire.
Okay, sure. But the issue is, right? The issue is that, as Chud mentioned as well, right? It seems that you're speaking from a very privileged perspective, right? And the privileged perspective, especially when you talk about how you as a woman date women as well, right? And I'm a guy. Listen, I'm a guy. I date men. I date women. Like I've been around, okay, and I've been very unattractive, and I have grown to become relatively attractive now. So I've also been on like both sides of this issue, right? And I can tell you, especially as a person who is like an immigrant in a country, like and I have a lot of experience from my non-white friends as well, who are like brown, black, or whatever. Like it is way harder to find any women like at all.
Okay, I just want to put out there that I was speaking specifically for men versus women. Obviously, if we start to take other issues into account, like privileges or whatever, it's going to be different. I'm not going to speak on behalf of other races' experience on things, like, but there are other parameters that weren't the topic of conversation initially.
Okay, so even if we narrow it down to being literally just like white men trying to date white women in like the United States, right? Sure. There is still a massive issue in terms of how the dating scene works, right? And Chud went into this a lot, but like just and you keep saying, well, it's hard for women to find the right partner. Right, but this isn't exclusive. Like this is.
I would say it's just as hard. So I'm not saying it's harder. I would say it's equally hard for men or women to find the right person. Women can find any person much easier.
Sure,
but that's not usually what we want. Right? So.
Sure, but don't you see how this isn't really an answer to the issue we're proposing, right? So if it's an issue for literally everybody, you're saying it's equally hard for men and women to find the right partner. Right, but we're talking about just dating at all, like dating anybody, right? And you're saying, well, finding the right person is the same, but it isn't really the topic of discussion, right?
I mean, that was part of the conversation that you're picking out from.
Well, sure, but that's
what
your
do you want me
to
response to? What do you want me to respond to?
I just want you to realize that the response you gave to Chud saying, it's harder for men to find like any partner at all. You're saying, well, it's equally hard for both sides for like both sides to find the right partner. That's not really a response.
If men, like, if you find someone that is so far below like your expectations for a partner, but they're willing to be with you, you're not going to stay with them either.
Well, okay.
It's like, yeah, you might have found someone to have sex with, I guess, but like that doesn't seem to be the issue, right? So like,
sure, I think the experience of a lot of men, and I have experienced this as well, is that like you might be like let's say you're like a 6 out of 10 guy, right? You might, as a guy, be willing to date and have a partner who's like a 3 out of 10, just because you're afraid that literally nobody else is ever gonna date you. Right? I feel like this is a common experience for my guys out there. Like, I don't know.
Is this a man that has absolutely nothing else going for them?
No, it's just like an average guy, like a 5 out of 10 guy. Like, and it was funny you said like an average guy, and then you said 7 out of 10. Like, an average guy is like a 5 out of 10.
I never called average guy 7 out of 10.
Okay, so like a 5 out of 10 guy, who's like just have a normal job, like let's say he works at like a supermarket or whatever, like has some hobbies, like just like your average, completely average person in the world, right? I feel like a man like this, like if
Well,
it's like
I'm
a
gonna
5
put
out
it
of
out
10.
there. More women have college degrees. If you're just working at a supermarket, that is gonna lower your dating pool. Sorry.
Yeah, but this is another issue, right? Is that women aren't willing to date down basically ever. Right?
Yeah,
They would
that's.
rather.
Do you want me to tell you why?
Yeah, because it's
I'll tell
way
you
easier.
why.
It's way
No,
easier
it has
to
nothing
get.
to do. It has nothing to do with ease. It's because we are much happier to be alone.
Yes.
Unmarried single women without kids are by far the happiest group of people. Men make our lives miserable, and as for men, being married, okay, being married is better for them. That does make them happier, but it doesn't make
But why
women
do you
happier
think
on
so? But
average.
why do you think so? Why do you think so?
I don't want to go on like a FEMCEL rant of men are bad, but it's just like it's like
I think you've done enough femcel stuff already.
No.
Okay, I don't think you need to be
I'm just
scared
kidding.
about
I
that.
don't actually hate men. Just putting that out there. I would actually
Okay.
quite like men to have a better time when it comes to dating, but the reality of it is women are happier to be alone, and if they can't find someone that is on their level, they will just stay alone. And the only way to fix that is by leveling up yourself.
No, why is that?
Why
do you think? Yeah, why do you think women are more happy to be alone?
We have great friendship groups. We get that emotional connection from our friends. We're not as focused on sex as being as important to having a happy existence.
Do you think men are super focused on sex, or do you think men just don't
not
get
always,
as many?
But
sure. So don't you think it's an So don't you think it's an issue that men can't find as fulfilling friendships, right? That they have to have a partner to experience like the intimacy of like.
Yeah, I mean that is a large part of what the conversation was about. If these men were having better friendships with women in the first place, it would just fix so many of these problems, because you're not really likely to find your ideal person on a dating app anyway.
Do you think there's any blame that women have for men not being able to be friends with them as easily, or is it mostly like, or just the men?
So a lot of women will have had bad experiences with men, okay, one way or another. And that doesn't make it your fault that in the history they had bad experiences, whether that's like minor things from just men being assholes or major ones to sexual assault and abuse. But it does make women a bit more wary on average when it comes to dating men.
So I asked you, do you think women could have any fault in like them not having it easiest time being friends with men? And your answer was, well, men hurt them, so obviously. Do you understand why that's a bit?
That's not what I said. I didn't say obviously like this. And not every woman will have had a bad experience with men, but enough will have.
Okay.
So it's something to keep in mind.
Okay, so can you give me an answer? So you don't think that like generally women are at fault for not being able to be friends with men?
So it's not women that have the issue here, right? It's men. So men need to be making the effort to befriend women genuinely because they want friends, because women are fine. Like, we're not the ones complaining, are we? So it's up to you to make those like.
Okay, so when you're friends with somebody, like that's a two-person responsibility, right?
Yes.
So if men and women are trying to be friends, there's two sides to that equation, right? It's not only the men, like women are also a part of that equation. Or no?
Sure, but we're happy to have friends or not. Like we will make friends with men if we want to.
Well, exactly. Right? You can as easily make friends with men, but men can't as easily make friends with women. Right? That's the point. Right? And the point, and that's the reason why Chud would bring this stuff up about like women, sort of. I would say manipulate. Like women do tend to be manipulative when it comes to friendships.
Right? Is to, if you want to make friends with women better, is to focus on yourself firstly. If you have those hobbies, then join groups to like meet women this way organically, or like branch out, whether that's online or IRL. Like, there isn't really much else you can do. Like,
well, sure, but the issue is that what you're doing is you're only putting the responsibility on men.
Because they're the ones complaining about it. Like, it's not women's responsibility to fix this.
Okay.
It isn't. I'm sorry.
Do you think it would be better for women if they had more male friends, or do you think women are best when they don't have any male friends?
No,
like they don't.
plenty of women have a lot of friends. Okay.
Well, that's not what I asked.
Male friends as well. Like, but we're not obligated to be friends in the way that you're not obligated to be friends with us, right?
Well,
it happens because you have stuff in common or whatever. Like,
nobody's saying obligated, right? So I'm asking you, do you think it would be better for women if it was more easily accessible to be friends with, like, platonic friends with men? Or do you think they don't give a fuck anyway?
I think that it's already easy for them to be friends with men. It's that men often don't value the friendship and just fuck off when that woman doesn't want to date them.
Okay.
That is the problem. Like, that's why I say you want to try and form genuine friendships with women, not just because you want to fuck them. That is my #1 piece of advice.
Don't you think it might be harmful that that's like your go-to is to just say, well, in general, men just want to fuck women, they don't want to be friends with them ever?
That's not what I said. I mean, you can keep twisting my words to say things I didn't say.
I'm just repeating back to it.
No, you didn't repeat. That's not what I said.
Okay.
That's clearly a good piece of advice, right? Be friends with people because you want to be friends with them, not because you want to fuck them. That doesn't mean that every man that befriends a woman wants to just fuck them. But I'm saying you want to avoid doing that.
Do you think it ever happens that women will string men along because they want
string men along? Are you asking me if there are manipulative women in the planet? Yes, of course.
Do you think it's a common thing or like super rare? Like, what's the percentage of, would you say, like men to female like friendships? Like, what's the percentage?
Okay, so you got to bear in mind that not necessarily every woman is doing that because of malicious intent.
Well, it doesn't. Right. Well, it doesn't really. Sure, but it doesn't necessarily matter what the intent is, right? Like, because the intent can just be masked by like not knowing about it. So you can always say, well,
yeah, there'll be people that don't know, but then there'll be people that might have an inkling, but they don't want to hurt the feelings of this guy, because rejecting someone before they've even admitted to liking you is kind of a rude thing to do, and can hurt someone for no reason and make an awkward situation instead, especially if they didn't end up actually liking you, and then you look like an extra big dickhead and you've just made the relationship weird. So like, you got to bear in mind, it's not always as easy for women to navigate these quite complicated friendship situations with men as it isn't for men always easy to do it either. There are definitely women out there that will string men along and they know that they're doing it. But at the end of the day, unless they are getting something out of you other than friendship, it's not really like, and unless they're trying to like get money out of you or stuff out of you or like getting you to actually do things, then that's obviously an issue.
Chud Nation.
But I'm guessing that's quite a small minority, right?
Can I tell you about an experience I've had with women trying to be friends with them? I mean, if you don't want to hear it, I mean, you just you
no,
don't
I
care
just say sure. This is how I talk. Sorry.
Okay. You made a side there.
Dario, just fucking say it. Come on, bro.
Okay.
This is unfortunately, I have a very disagreeable personality. It's
okay.
I'm British as well, so
yeah. Listen, this is what we're like in the UK. Okay, that's just what it's like over here, bro. Okay,
we're just naturally a bit of a cunt.
Listen, you didn't have to tell me you're British. Okay, it's very obvious.
Right, come on, Dario, just say it. Let's enough. Right, no more posturing. Okay, say your piece,
want me
Dario.
To say it, Chud?
Yes, say it. Please say it.
Okay. You were going to tell me about your relationship.
Okay, I'm gonna say it. Okay, chill. So I think, and this is also an occurrence I've had, like, with many of my friends, sort of like an experience they've had, is that when you try to be friends with a girl, and just friends, like not like in a relationship, oftentimes it feels like it's very easy at first, especially if you're not like, let's say you're like a 2 out of 10 guy. Obviously, maybe you won't even be able to approach anybody, let alone like any women or whatever. But like if you're just like an average guy, like a 5 out of 10, like a 6 out of 10 or whatever, sometimes it can be very easy to initially become friends with girls. But what tends to happen is that at the start you would give them a lot of attention all the time, just kind of like you would also do with a girlfriend at first, right? When you're first talking to a new girlfriend or trying to date somebody, you give them a lot of attention, and then at some point, like, that just turns into like a normal friendship, and then you have a lot of other friends like that you spend time with, that you game with, or whatever. But as soon as you stop giving like them all of the attention, then they kind of stop responding to you as well. Right? They kind of disassociate from you, because it seems like they kind of want to be treated as a girlfriend, like as a one special person. But if when you stop treating them as that one special person, like even though if it's a friendship, then they kind of lose interest, because they want the full attention, and they are going to get that from like all kinds of other men, like be it boyfriends or whatever. So that's why I feel like that's what I feel like many men mean when they say that they sort of get friend zoned, where they want, like, the girl wants the guy to treat them as a girlfriend, but not have like the girlfriend stuff, like the intimacy or whatever that comes with it.
So when you say they want to be treated like a girlfriend, you mean they want what you think is more attention than to a regular friend?
Exactly.
So it's like a friendship on steroids.
Well, sure, but like, so I'm married, right? I'm married, and my wife, like, I will treat my wife, and I would give her way more attention than I would do with all of my friends. Right? I'm basically on call. Like, if she needs something, I'm responding right away. These types of things. But sometimes it feels like when women want a guy friend, that's what they want from their guy friend, even though they're not like married or have like a boyfriend girlfriend relationship.
Have you ever spoken to your wife about this out of curiosity? Because it could be just the fact that certain women want a lot more emotional connection from all of their friendships, whether they're male or female. I'm particularly not as much like this because I don't like most people. Which is why I say if you're my friend, it's a privilege, right? Okay. But I am aware what my other female friends are like, and they do tend to value sort of those emotional connections more than men do, which I think is a bit sad, really. But if you're the kind of person that doesn't have that energy to have those emotional connections with more than maybe one person, whoever you're dating, then you need to start those friendships the way that you want them to proceed. So don't go into these friendships like 1,000 to 1 and then pull back at the same rate. You need to sort of just be treating them as you would want to treat them continually as a friend.
Sure, but the issue is, and this is where I think you might be missing, is that, and maybe this is the part where you don't actually care about it, right? Because maybe that's the difference. But the issue is that for many men, I feel like that's like the only option. Like, it's either that or you just don't have that friend, right? And you don't really have any other options there, so you just lose like a friend, and especially if it's like a female friend. So there's like a very big societal issue with like guys not being able to be very vulnerable to other guys. Like, that's very taboo in like most friend circles.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. Sorry,
Sure.
I missed part of what you were saying. Why does that mean that you can't be friends after?
Sure. Well, no. So the issue is that if you have a female friend, and that female friend is like sort of like your emotional support, right? And you're saying, well, if she isn't giving you exactly what you like, all of the things that you want, you should just leave, or like say like that's the end, right? But the issue is that you're kind of then losing your emotional support, so it can be very hard to like get out of that.
I mean, the answer to that would be, I mean, say you've put yourself into this situation by accident. So my advice is not to get into that situation in the first place by treating your friends how you want to continually treat them. But say you got into the situation by accident. They are the only person that you have for emotional support, which I hope you appreciate is a bad position that you put yourself in if you don't have anyone else aside from this one person that you've made friends with.
I agree that's a bad position, but that's the reality, right, that we have to contend
you
with.
wouldn't want to cut them off right away, but you would want to look for other places to get that emotional support from, so that you could slowly start to reduce the amount that you talk to this person, but hopefully still remain friends with them. but find other sources of support, either from friends or family can be good.
Okay. So okay, sure. I mean, so the issue is that, I mean, you're not saying anything wrong, right? Like, you're not, like, I wouldn't say, oh, it's wrong to be able to do better and get emotional support from other places, right? The issue is, like, how easily accessible is this change, right? Like, and saying, like, just get emotional support from your family. I don't know.
Well, it can be other friends, it can be family, it can be a therapist if you genuinely don't have someone else that you can talk to with about your feelings. It could be people online, support groups. Like, there are other options than that one girl that you made friends with and then emotionally trauma dumped on. Like, I don't know. There are other options.
Okay. The issue is that
also, men have a really bad habit of treating the female friends and partners as their therapists, which is something they should try and work on a bit.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what else to say, Chad.
Okay. Listen, I think we've had a good conversation. I know it's been a bit fractious at times, but I appreciate.
That's right. The reality is, right, I want to give advice that will actually you will be able to use, because you can sit around and like complain about, the women's, some of them are manipulative and I want to date them, but I can't say how. But that doesn't help you in the end. And if you don't understand the way that women are thinking as well, that's like another barrier of you being able to actually date someone. And if dating apps aren't working for you, you really need to start working on your friendships in real life with women and finding new friendships, either with mutual like hobbies or whatever. Like, you can't just sit around complaining in Twitch chat, I don't have a girlfriend and they're all bitches. No. Like, that's not going to help you, is it? Yeah, it's not going to do shit.
Okay, Dari, any final comments?
Yeah, I think if you try and speak about these things on a big forum with a lot of guys like listening, especially on stuff like Twitch chats and like YouTube and whatever, I think you're gonna find a lot of disagreement, and I think that disagreement comes from you having a very hard time empathizing with the man's perspective here. And I know you say, oh, you date women.
You want me to tell you why I have that issue with the empathy, right? It's because when I try to give advice, none of the fuckers listen to me, and I'm giving fucking good advice, all right? I'm telling you what you should do, and ain't no one listen.
Sure, but don't you think But don't you think there's why do you think that? Like, do you think they're just being dishonest, like they don't want help, like they don't give a fuck about their own lives? Or do you think that they feel like your advice is very like misleading because you don't really empathize with their situation, and the advice you're giving isn't really useful?
You don't have to empathize with people to give them good advice. Who the fuck told you that?
You kind of do.
Yeah, I do give people good advice, even if I don't fucking like them. Like,
great advice that nobody.
No, it's not about liking.
Shitty advice.
Well,
I don't have to be all nicey to them.
Empathy isn't like, what is empathy this? Empathy isn't liking somebody, right? It's about understanding their situation and where they're coming from. That's the issue, and you don't seem to do that.
I said nicey. Like, what? Right, okay. I have this issue because I'm a woman that is disagreeable, and that is already annoying to like 99% of the population, because women are not socialized to be disagreeable, and they try to beat it out of you. Okay, I know I'm not that nice, and I don't exhibit a lot of empathy, especially to people I don't know. Like, fuck, I don't know. I barely care about the people I do know. Right? I don't have excess empathy stored in my backpack to be sharing with the general populace. However, that doesn't mean that I can't like give good advice. Like, those two things.
It kind of does. So you can't really give
it. Oh my god, we got a new angle.
You can't really give advice to people, right, who are experiencing issues.
I can understand an issue without empathizing as well.
The only thing you're doing is you're proselytizing. You're proselytizing to other women who share your perspective, and you're going to get a lot of yas queens from your girlfriends, and maybe from some guys.
There's so many girls in Chud.
Maybe some guys.
If there were that many girls, there wouldn't be a problem with that. You don't
experiencing these issues are not going to listen to you because you don't understand their perspective.
I care about what Chud's chat thinks. I don't care. I came on to argue. Oh, you got mad and left. Sorry, I was getting a bit.
No, it's fine. Listen, look, I think
get so posting, accepting the voice.
Okay, listen, Kelly. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate you coming on to even though you disagreed.
Right.
And maybe we'll speak again. Okay.
I'm sorry about my lack of empathy.
Kelly, listen. Look. Let's look. No hard feelings. You've got some disagreements, but that's fine. It is what it is. I appreciate you coming on nonetheless. Okay.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay. Cheers.
Bye.
Wow. Holy fuck. Calm down, chat. Calm down. Chill out. What the fuck? Relax a bit.